Hello, everybody watching. I'm Greg Denning, and this is my wife, Jill.
Hi.
We're both Unity members. I'm going to go ahead and start because I've been going to Unity the longest of the two of us. So,
Right back.
okay. So my story, briefly. I grew up going to a traditional Christian church, a Presbyterian church in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and I really enjoyed, most of it. I thought our minister was great. Most of the people I liked. I really enjoyed singing in the choir. So there were all these good things. The problem was, even as a kid, I didn't get it because, they were telling me that God was all powerful and all loving, and yet here's this devil. That dichotomy never made sense to me. And it didn't ring true. That's about the only way I could put it. So after high school, I pretty much didn't go to church at all for probably 20 years or more. And then one day, my nurse practitioner was a Unity member, and I was seeing her, and she just seemed to glow with something. And I could tell, she was just glowing with it. And this isn't really like me, but I had the courage to say, Julie, why do you shine? What is it with you? And she was not even taken aback at all. She just started talking about unity, and talking about, how she saw spirituality, just, fairly briefly, but I was super intrigued because I had so much respect for her and still do, that I decided, okay, I'm going to go. So I did, I think, the very next Sunday. And when I walked in, everybody was very warm and welcoming. This was back when it was Unity of Greater Lansing. Things have reformed and split and come back together and all kinds of stuff that happens to churches. But I felt this feeling of warmth and comfort. What I was hearing in the talk and it just rang true. That's all I can say. Whereas traditional Christianity, I had trouble reconciling the concepts. Unity was like, oh, finally, this is what I believe. And so, I was hooked. And it didn't hurt that as we were singing a song, somebody just in front of me turned around, looked at me so earnestly and said, "You've got to join our choir." And I was like, okay, and I did. And it just kind of went on from there. And I've had the honor and privilege to serve that Unity of Greater Lansing in a few different ways, platform leader, on the board, and that kind of thing. I was on the board again when we decided it was the right time to bring two parts of Unity and Lansing together, which were together on one point and then kind of split apart. And so I was on the board as president when the time came to bring that back together. That was a challenge. And today, I serve as the song leader for the congregation and also the leader of the tech team. So me and my group keep the PCs going, video system, we help out when there's problems with the sound system and that kind of thing, because my career is IT and information security, and I'm really comfortable with that. Anyway, that kind of takes us to present day, and I'm going to let my wife take over and tell you a little bit about herself.
Hello again. I was born and raised in the Catholic Church. Grew up on the east side of Lansing, actually in the neighborhood where Unity of Greater Lansing was located. Greg and I were married in a Catholic church. We raised our daughters in the Catholic faith, and but occasionally we would join him at Unity, and always found the people warm and wonderful. The message was always very pertinent to what was going on in my life at the time. And then as our children grew and became adults, there were some things that occurred within the Catholic Church that I kind of didn't agree with so much with the Catholic teaching so in the doctrine, and decided that I would just start going to church with Greg on a little more regular basis. And around that time, Reverend Sharon Ketchum joined Unity as our current minister. And the more I attended and the more I listened and paid attention, the more I wanted to become a member. So I did become a member in 2016 or 17. I was standing there trying to remember that. And I currently now serve as the secretary on the board of trustees. So now we are both very actively involved in our wonderful Unity family, and we would hope that if you're interested, you would check us out sometime.
Thanks, Jill. I think that was very well put.
Thank you.
And, the thing about Unity, Unity Spiritual Center of Lansing is we've had a Phoenix experience, if you will. A few years ago, we had a fire that totaled out, basically, our church on Home Street. And at the time, it seemed like a big blow. But it wasn't. I mean, we were agonizing over things like how are we going to renovate this, or should we buy some other old church with the same problems ours had, et cetera, et cetera. And so this cleansing fire came along that seemed like a disaster at the time. And now we are in the most gorgeous facility. Used to be the conference center and clubhouse for a golf course. We own about 10 acres, including a lovely pond. We've got a gazebo, a spiritual labyrinth. We've got a whole bunch of stuff going on, and it's beyond most of our wildest dreams. So it just shows that something that could have been tragic and might have seemed like a huge blow and defeat can just lead you to where you need to be.
Right.
And that's about it.
That's about it.
We love Unity. I can't see myself not going. I can't see myself going to another congregation. And it's the kind of place where I just feel so honored and lucky to be able to serve.
Right.
So everybody, I hope you watch, and you might want to check us out. Yeah. We're online and we're in person. So we're a hybrid situation, and anybody watching this is so welcome anytime. Yes. Yep. Doesn't matter what faith you have. Yep. Doesn't matter what background you are. Race, creed, color, sexual preference. None of that. None of that matters at all. We try to be radically inclusive. And that's about it.
Yep.
Well, thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.